Hello, welcome to the Scott Paine YouTube channel. I'm Scott. Today, we're going to be talking about subspace storage pockets and the year that changed my life, 1986, the movie Transformers, the scene, the death of Optimus Prime. And people thought, oh, Megatron, Hot Rod caused that. He's to blame. And that was the day that I found out that life isn't always ho-hos and leprechauns. Some people say I have issues. From that movie. And we're going to talk about this. The mighty Zakk Wylde Les Paul Custom Plus, except it is an Epiphone. Yes, not a Gibson like my other guitars. This is an Epiphone. And I will defend it, because you know what? This is the best Epiphone I've ever played. And it's all stock. Right? Got the maple neck, rosewood fretboard, not ebony. Gold hardware. And actually, Grover tuners on its stock. And this one came stock with the actual 81, 85 Zakk Wylde EMG set. Previous models before this one had the EMG HDs. It's not this. It's not the 81, 85. And this one is a 2012, and it is not made in the factory that the other ones were. I think this one moved, when they did this model, they moved to a factory that actually makes only Epiphone. Before that, it was in another factory overseas, Indonesia, China, and that factory made other affordable guitars for other brands. But this particular model this year is when they moved to a different factory that just stayed specifically for making guitars for Epiphone. Now this is an all mahogany body, and it's got that big Zakk neck, and I like it. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I'll play it live. I don't have any issues with that. And I'll break it out for other tunes. Even though my Gibsons, I've got some hotter pickups in them. I got another Gibson with an 81, 85 EMG setup, and it's awesome too. But this has a bit of a thicker, warm sound as opposed to my other Gibson that I have the same pickups in. But that's because it has a maple cap, so it gets a little bit more of the MIDI in your face stuff there. And with this being all mahogany, it gives it, like I said, it's a little bit of a warmer tone since it doesn't have a maple cap. But you still get a little bit of a mid snap because of the neck, maple neck. But you know what? Out of the box, this thing was actually flawless. There's no scratches, no dings, everything worked. It was all good. Now, I mean, you can see there's some spots that, it's an Epiphone, like, really close. You look and you can see like the paint kind of and the binding look weird with the clear coat. I mean, it looks great. It's just, if it was a Gibson, you wouldn't have this clear on there that looked, a little cheaper of a clear coat, basically. But I use this one primarily for some drop tunings. I've got this one just tuned a whole step down, so it's tuned to D, and drop it down, and it still sounds great. So I use it for that. And actually, I can drop my 2015 Les Paul Classic down really far, and I can put way bigger strings on it than I could this without changing the nut, because it's got the 0 fret nut. And I mean, if I wanted to go super huge, I could put the original brass nut that I got with that guitar one, because where the strings, like, it's freaking huge. But it made a pinging noise when you use normal strings. When you put, 56 on there, you're probably not going to get a ping on it, because it's filling up that whole hole where the string goes through. So, but yeah, this thing rocks. Now I haven't got to compare any of the newer Epiphones that came out. I know everybody's hyping on that, but I'll try one. And if I had extra cash and all that stuff, I'd try it, and if I liked it, I'd buy it. And the other reason that I bought this one, the main reason I bought the Epiphone version and not a Gibson version is, this is about $800. The Gibson version was over $4,000. I didn't have $4,000 at that time, and I don't freaking have it now. So that, and the time that they were offering this, and had all the right stuff, and is when I noticed Zakk was coming out with his Wylde audio line. So they kind of stopped the production of, any Gibson or Zakk endorsed Gibson or Epiphone anymore. So I knew it was going to be gone soon. And I know, it's an Epiphone, and I don't expect it to be like, oh, it's going to bring in a bunch of money, since it is what it is. It's an Epiphone. I get that. It could, but that's not why I bought it. Zakk is one of my favorite guitar players. I take a lot from him. The harmonics that I do in my originals, and even in covers, I would go, back in the day I went overboard a lot, but it was still awesome. So, I mean, my influences came a lot from Zakk Wylde. So, and I wanted this, and I tried some of the Wylde audio, and some of my buddies had tried, periodically throughout time. And they weren't getting very good reviews, and the ones I played I didn't like either. They didn't really feel, not even like this, This one's got a nice arch on the top and everything else, It feels pretty solid, it doesn't feel like a cheap guitar, it doesn't feel like a toy. And I've played a Gibson version of this, and it was awesome. But with that price difference, $4,800, I don't see it being that much, thousands of dollars in difference. So maybe if I would have hit the lottery at some point in my life and had millions of dollars, I probably would have bought it just to buy it. But as a musician that's not famous and not making a ton of money with anything right at the moment, I'm not dropping $4K on a guitar just for a name. Not me, man. And, excuse this video for being a little bit not quite as enthusiastic. That's because medication thing going weird, and had to change some doses and stuff. And no, they're not psycho meds or not anything good. It's just blood pressure stuff. Because sometimes I get stressed. Usually on Tuesdays. But anyway, I'm going to start weaning people off the Gibson stuff for a little bit. So I might not be able to post this on my Gibson forums. Maybe I will. We'll try it and see. Some people are anal, some people aren't. But got a couple other guitars I'm going to break out. But since we're in Aussie mode, the next guitar I'll probably bring out is going to be my son's, and it's a Randy Rhoads Jackson Flying V reversed headstock. It's the white one with the black pinstripes and active Seymour Duncan's Floyd Rose and all that stuff. So I'll tell you the story, get into that when we get that guitar out. The other guitar I want to bring out and do some stuff on is going to be my Schecter Hellraiser 7-string with the Sustainiac. Thing is freaking awesome, and I really don't write a lot of stuff that's tuned low or for 7-string. But I am a Steve Vai fan, and I remember back in the day, he had a 7-string and no one was doing that stuff. It's like, oh, that's awesome. I want a 7-string just because he's got one. And when I was in the market for it and I went and bought it, I was looking at other stuff, and at the time, played some Ibanez stuff, and man, I used to love Ibanez, but the stuff I got and played within that few year period just were not up to par, and their prices were freaking insane. And then I see the Schecter. It's like cheaper than some of these, you know, Ibanez 7 strings. And I'm like, you know, I'm not a huge whammy bar guy, but I figure if I'm dropping that much money on a crazy thing, and I'm going to go the Steve I route, I got to have a Floyd Rose on it. So the Schecter had a Floyd, and a decent Floyd, not just the special or the cheap knockoff. And it had that. It had an active EMG 81 in the bridge, neck through body, mahogany neck, quilted maple top. Now I'm sure the maple cap's just a veneer, but it's got a full-size maple cap and the veneer that quilts a veneer. Just like trans red, and it's got the Sustaniac pickup in it, which if you buy that to put it in another guitar, I mean, that's going to cost you like $300 just for that. And a big pain in the butt to try and wire that thing up. You know, and that thing was like $1,200 or something like that. And then I'm looking at the same price range in the Ibanez field, and it's like, you don't get the Sustaniac, you don't get a good Floyd, if you did get a Floyd on it. You know, just no neck through body stuff. But I kind of like that more than I like the bolt-on necks. I will give him credit. I had a Super Shredder Schecter, and that thing was friggin' awesome. I wish I didn't sell it. But I needed the cash at the time, and I don't want to sell any of my Gibsons. But that thing had a great neck. It was a bolt-on neck. Friggin' awesome. Really just like the pickups in it. And it was a decent price. It was like $600. And then I got another version of it, but the Sustaniac, it was like $700 friggin' dollars. And it by far killed any Ibanez that I played in that price range. I mean, the Jacksons, the Ibanez, ESP stuff, it was in that price range. The Schecters are just destroying it, in my opinion. And I'm going by what I've played and stuff. So that's, you know, Schecters didn't feel cheap. I didn't have any quality control issues. I mean, I can see a lot of flaws in the other ones. Man, especially Jacksons. I'm really not a fan of the Flying V I got from my son. You know, when I got it, the frets are sharp, and it needed set up out of the box. The Floyd on it is not the greatest. I had to do some work to get that thing set up. I mean, I figured I would like the pickups. They're active Seymour Duncans, and I like Duncan, but I prefer their passive over their actives. But, you know, I mean, all in all, it's okay for what it is, you know. And it was price fair, about $700, brand new. But, yeah, I mean, it had, you know, the fret issues, you know, being sharp and all that stuff. And, you know, and I pick up a $500 Schecter, and it's like flawless. You know, no bad frets anywhere, no flaws in the finish, no little things overlooked, and good hardware. So, you know, that's where I'll be going on a couple of these other videos and rants and stuff. I'm going to try and stay out of the political crap because I don't want to get demonetized before I ever get monetized. So I would like to get some money at some point. I'm out of surge, and I'm tired. Just got to calm down. Alright? Just calm down. And subscribe. I need your help, man. I really do. I need to make some money. Because I got gas like everybody else. Gas, I tell you. You know, gear acquisition syndrome, whatever they call it. Oh yeah, probably go through my rig too and let you see some of that stuff. I don't play that much on here because I don't have any mic set up, and I know it usually comes off sounding crappy just using the mic that's on the camera that I'm using, which is ancient. And dear God, if I used a camera that's on the computer, that's even worse. It's like having 27 chorus pedals hooked up, all on at the same time. Not good. And So maybe I'll figure out a way to get that going, because I had a couple things that I could work, but you know, doesn't work with Windows 10. Nothing works with Windows 10. So I don't have anything set up to mic the stuff, but this does okay. I'm sure. I mean, the couple riffs that I played on other stuff with the videos came out okay, but that's why I keep it really short with the riffs. Just like, here's a harmonic and a chord. Yay, let's talk about this guitar. But I have to give it up, man. My amp is a EVH 5153 2x12 combo, not the separate one. The combo. You know why I bought the combo? Because the combo had more gain than the 50-watt head would have. And you know me, you gotta have the gain. Is there too much gain? There's never too much. This thing doesn't have a clean channel, because I got it before they came out and put the separate volume on. It pissed me off. But I'm fine with that, because I got the 4 cable system hooked up with my Digitac, so I can bypass the preamp section and get the tube section of the power amp going and get a clean sound that way. Hi, kitty cat. Why are you in here? Anyway. So yeah, and the 12s and that are freaking awesome. And then I went ahead and then I got the 4x12 extension cab and hooked it up so we could get all the ohmage going and rocking out. And it's got the vintage 30s in there. All Celestions, but there's a different Celestion in one cabinet and different Celestions in the other. And they come together and it's all harmonious. So I use 2 channels. Channel 2 is my rock channel, the blue channel. Channel 1 is useless. And channel 3 I'm on 98% of the time. That's my super high gain channel, and that's what I use. So, hello Spike. This is my son's cat too, but he's in bed because he's got school. So, say bye, Spiky. Or just purr. Alright, I'll go through all this stuff on another day. Like and subscribe. I will see you later, because I gotta go get some surf.